Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, January 21, 2022. Jamaica generated over $1 billion in export earnings for the January to September period of 2021. This outturn represents a 26.3% increase over the corresponding period in 2020. Director General of the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, Carol Coy, says the increase was mainly driven by higher exports of mineral fuels, which climbed by 96.8%. She was speaking recently at the agency's digital quarterly media briefing.
Earnings from domestic exports increased by 18.4% to $1 billion and accounted for 89.6% of total exports. Exports from the manufacture industry increased by 32.1%, due mainly to higher exports of refined petroleum products and food, beverages, and tobacco.
Earnings from mining and quarrying were 6.2% above the corresponding 9-month period in 2020 due to higher exports of alumina. Additionally, agricultural exports rose by 7%, largely resulting from higher outflows of coffee and yams. At the same time, Jamaica's import expenditure between January and September 2021 climbed to $4.25 billion. The Statistical Institute is also reporting that the country's unemployment rate fell to a record low of 7.1% for October 2021. According to Statin's labor force survey for the month, this is 3.7% points less than the corresponding period in 2020. Director General Carol Coy says the review period recorded 32.4% fewer unemployed persons than in October 2020.
The number of unemployed males and females declined by 36.2% and 29.4% respectively. Youth unemployment. The youth unemployment rate declined by 9.3 percentage points to 18.9% relative to October 2020.
The data shows that over 76,000 more persons were employed in October 2021, an increase of 6.6%.
These persons were engaged in economic activities for at least 1 hour during the September 19 to 25 reference week. Females recorded the larger increase in employment. The number of employed females grew by 8.5% to 568,600, while for employed males the increase was 5.1% to 676,200. There were increases across all age groups.
There were 766,500 fewer persons outside the labor force for the review period. The Ministry of Agriculture is taking steps to increase onion production from 20 to 150%, which is the targeted projection to meet local demand. Newly appointed Minister Pernell Charles Jr. made the disclosure while touring onion farms in Yallis, St. Thomas on Wednesday. He says a similar push to increase production of other crops is ongoing as the sector remains one of the pillars of sustainable economic growth. The sector recorded growth of 7.2% for the July to September quarter of 2021. Minister Charles Jr. is urging more persons to get involved.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, RADA, and all of our agencies are ready to provide the necessary technical support and expertise to give you what you need in terms of knowledge and understanding to do your best in farming.
Students and faculty of Lacovia High in St. Elizabeth will soon have the convenience of 2 new school buses to address their transportation needs. The Japanese government signed a grant agreement with the Education Ministry yesterday, providing $135,000 to purchase the buses from Toyota Jamaica. Education Minister Fable Williams says this should help ease the cost and safety issues for students traveling to and from the school.
And we know that students who live outside of Kingston and St. Andrew pay quite a bit for transportation, quite a lot. And so this is a welcome donation.
The vehicles are being provided as part of the ministry's expanded pilot school bus program and the Japanese government's grant assistance for grassroots human security projects. And finally, yesterday marked a historic first as Rear Admiral Antoinette Weems Gorman became the first female to head the Jamaica Defense Force, JDF. Rear Admiral Weems Gorman was presented with the instrument of appointment as Chief of Defense Staff in a virtual ceremony at King's House. She takes over the helm from Lieutenant General Rocky Meade and is the first female in the English-speaking Caribbean and the world to head the Army. Her career in the JDF spans 30 years, with achievements of being the most senior-ranking naval and female officer and the first and only female to attain a flag rank. The new Chief of Defense Staff gives her commitment to strategic and decisive leadership.
It is a reality that the JDF will continue to play a critical role in the national security apparatus of our country. My efforts in this regard will be anchored in the 5 pillars of force transformation, which is articulated in our Strategic Defense Review. These are capability development, human resource management, infrastructure, command and control. This will ensure that the force is fit for purpose and capable of effectively confronting current and future threats to Jamaica's security.
Head of Defense Prime Minister Andrew Holness expressed confidence in the appointment of Rear Admiral Weems Gorman.
I look forward to benefiting from her wise counsel on matters related to defense and security. The Rear Admiral's many years in the JDF Coast Guard has allowed her to treat significantly with issues relating to maritime security and the blue economy. She will therefore bring a unique perspective to our discussions and our efforts to strengthen our borders and prevent illicit inflows, to protect the lives and livelihoods of our coastal communities, and to ensure that Jamaica can derive sustainable benefit from our maritime resources.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.